out to the beach or wherever he said, and I don't know the area, so I'm like, okay. So we're walking, and then I noticed we were going to a cliff, and I was like, this is beautiful. And then I turn around, and he's like, got the ring, and I'm like, when I say floored, didn't know nothing. I don't even know how he kept it a secret. He is really, really good. And he told me the ring was in the kitchen in like one of his little containers for sugar or something like that. And all weekend I'm in the kitchen. I know he was like, Lord, Father God, please don't let her, find the ring.
And I didn't. Stumbling across stuff you shouldn't be in.
Yep. And he proposed out there on the cliff.
I do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again, back for another episode. After I do the podcast, your man Royale Watkins, Chocolate Girl Wonder.
Hi.
Excited always to engage you all. Thank you all for all of the comments. Thank you for the likes. Yes. Thank you for the subscribers.
Oh my God, the subscribers. Say that again, babe.
Thank you for all of the subscriptions.
I love it. Thank you.
Hit the share button. Tell your friend to tell a friend about the... This is like the realest conversation on the internet. And we got some work to do because I'm not going to say we promised, but we did tell our folks that we were going to follow up and do the work so that we got onto all of the audio platforms.
Yes.
And that's, you know what, that's on me. I'm going to take full responsibility for that because that's a Royale thing. Some of the stuff April runs and manages, some of the stuff is in my court. So I got to go back and make sure that happens. This particular episode is an interesting one because April and I have been noticing that there's been a bunch of videos on the internet about proposals. And so April and I actually wanted to ask April if she was satisfied with my wedding proposal to her.
Honey.
Because let's have the whole conversation because April actually proposed to me first, but I wasn't ready.
Wow.
I know, right?
But you gonna bring that up?
But wait, why? You said wow? Like, do you feel some kind of way about being a female that proposed to her man?
No, I don't. People.
What was going through your mind at the time?
No, I was overwhelmed with love, first and foremost, and I was just like, "Yo, I'm ready." And I have never even thought about doing that ever in my life. It just happened. I didn't plan it. I didn't say this is the day it's going to happen. It was just like a reaction. We had such a great night that night. And I was like, let's get married. Will you marry me? Royale was like, whoa, champ.
Easy, champ.
Here's the thing. I say it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. If he would have said yes, we would have been married probably a year and a half earlier than we did. But he was just like, I'm not ready. And I was like, and I wasn't devastated. I didn't start crying. I mean, it was like, okay. Because he just said I wasn't ready. He wasn't like, no, never. He was just like, I'm not ready. And I was like, okay, I can respect that.
Yeah. And something that I certainly hadn't anticipated. I knew we were in a space where it was kind of out there and in the works. But certainly... I wasn't looking for you to propose to me.
Right.
But you had always thereafter, like, when we had this conversation before, it's like, you always passed it off as a joke. But now, like, talking about it now, it's like, if you were serious, you were serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was serious.
Yeah.
But I wasn't devastated. You know how there was no Snapchat, there was no IG, it wasn't for the camera, so I wasn't heartbroken, that everybody saw no, I'm not ready. It was like there was dialogue after. I don't remember what we talked about, but it wasn't like, no, shut the door. No, never come back. No, how dare you? It was just like, I'm not ready. He said I could see it in the future, but not right now. And because it was that way and it was sweet and it was,
it was intimate.
It was intimate, right. I didn't feel any type of way, but yes, it was a real proposal because if he would have said yes, we would have been getting married sooner.
You didn't have a ring?
I didn't have nothing. It was, like I said, it was...
You just say, which one you want?
I don't know. It was in the moment. So it was very honest. It was very pure. It was in the moment. And it's all good. It's all good. Look where we are.
No, we're here, but why do you think that women should like, do you have an issue? Clearly, you proposed to me, so I guess maybe this is a moot question. But so there's such a stigma with the idea of a woman proposing to a man. We've seen videos before of women getting down on one knee, and and people frown upon that. Why are we so married to this idea that only men should propose to women?
I think the proposals I've seen are more for show, and that's what I don't like. It's like,
It's interesting.
Yo, she's got this blinged out ring, and she's, it's here's the difference. When you know. I kind of knew that we were headed that way. So for me, it wasn't like about pomp and circumstance. It wasn't like I need to do this and show people. The cameras are rolling. Nothing wrong with that, but the ring, it just seems so forced. It's not legit.
Yeah,
I don't care who proposes.
A show.
If it's not a show, right?
Than the two of them.
And then again, I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself, because sometimes I wouldn't mind I love seeing a great proposal on film when it's intimate and sweet. But the ones that are just over the top and the diamond ring, yeah, she bought me a diamond ring. Those are the ones where I take with a grain of salt.
What you just now said, you said she bought me a diamond ring.
Yeah.
You just switched it, and that version of it, you made it the female proposing to the male.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that was a very specific thing you just did. You pivoted. The ones that you didn't like was the ones where a man was bragging.
No. I meant the woman.
Oh.
No, not the men. It's the women. The ones where I see where the women propose, they are just so to bring as much bling and much attention. Like, it's just unauthentic. It's more about, look what I bought you, and because it could be whatever ring it is, it's just all in your delivery. And their delivery seems like it's for the camera. It's because I'm a woman, I'm going to buy him a big ass ring. And I know it could be other way, but it's again in the delivery. It's not usually a sweet moment. They're eating something and the ring is in there, and then they ask. It's like fur coats and diamond rings and and popping bottles, and that's all I'm saying. But I don't think there's anything wrong. And because I am a rebel, I think that I didn't care what he thought. If I did ask, I still was going to ask. But I just asked, like, again, it wasn't like my girlfriends knew. Nobody knew. It wasn't like, hey, girl, what did he say? Because there was nothing planned. There was nothing planned.
Just in the heat of the moment.
Heat of the moment.
Make it happen. Make it official. Let me see. Ooh, let me try it. See what's happening.
Ooh.
Now slow down.
He had other prospects.
So let me ask you. I needed to talk to some people.
Get off of me.
Okay. I had to go put the team together. It's like, okay, now she want to marry me. What y'all want to do? Who got a better offer? Had to fill some offers. But we worked it out. I'm here.
We worked it out.
So, of all the proposals that you've seen online, we actually saw a couple. One with the sight, the girl with the rifle.
Oh, God, that was hilarious.
Then we saw the one with the dude with the fishing. What was his theme? See, like, there seems to have these themes to the proposals.
I can't even remember the one with the fishing. I was like, he's so crazy.
I'm a good catch.
Right. It was a note, right?
I don't know
bobble.
If it was yes, it must have been. I was like, is the ring in the bobble?
I was going nuts. I said, yeah, the bobble, the one that pops on, so the little ball.
The guy who was like proposing.
Yes.
He took his fiance fishing, and the whole thing was, I'm a good catch. So he took something and tied it to the lure, threw it out, and had her reel it in. And when she pulled it in, she had a note to read.
Yeah, but she had to get to the note because it had to be inside the ball because it would have gotten wet and soggy. So she was finagling, which made me I thought the ring too. Right. I was like, he is very, very brave, because what if a big fish would have snatched that off? How many times has that happened? But I guess it was a note. And by the time she read it and turned around, he was already on his knee. Right?
Yeah.
And then he proposed.
I don't understand the whole knee thing. Why do men have to? What is that about? We should have looked that up.
I don't know.
Does anybody know what the on a knee?
On bended knee. It must be something.
Represents, and why men have to. Like, I know you genuflect. To genuflect represents one thing, But what does the on bended knee represent for proposal to a woman? Will you take
Maybe
my
I'm
hand?
just,
Will you
I
marry
don't
me? Will you
know.
do me the honor?
I'm down begging. I don't
Come
know.
on down here with me. If I get
But
on
to
my
get
knee,
back
if
to
you get
your
on your
point
knees
or your
later.
question about
Yes.
your proposal, that's how we got here. Now, can we go back to that, or do you not want to know about that? Your proposal, because you did say you were talking about how was your proposal, but then you said,
Okay.
"Hey, I want to talk about you first proposed." So then you went to that.
No, okay. So then, but there was some other things I was trying to get to before.
Oh,
I
go
got to
ahead.
that
I didn't
part,
want
but-
you to forget, but go ahead.
No, my memory's pretty good. The second one we saw was this country ass couple. My God, the proposer, the guy, had
Oh my
a
God.
shotgun, a gun, a rifle mounted up, and downrange on the target he had spelled out, "Will you marry me?" So his country ass fiance, he heard her looking through the sight, and she was supposed to read on the sign, "Will you marry me?" But she was so busy trying to actually shoot the gun. And she,
And then she was
missed the point.
mad. By the time she
by
did
the
say,
time she
"Will you
turned
marry
around,
me?"
Yeah, she was, but it was a hot holy country mess.
Hot
But
mess.
it was
So
cute.
she-
He had a good.
By the time she
idea.
read it, she said, "Will you marry me?" And she turned around real fast, saw the ring. Is that real?
Yeah, she
That was
more
her first
concerned,
question.
Is the ring real?
Is that real?
And
And
his
he
thing
said,
is, look, is it yes or no? They damn near got an argument
exactly.
over the proposal.
It was funny.
But so now we get back to my proposal to April. I was aware, like it's interesting because as you think about getting married, as you think about taking this humongous giant step into this particular arena, there's a lot of things to consider, right? It's a life journey together with one person for the rest of the way. And not just that, but the consideration to build out a family with all of these other people who now, are attached to your journey, who you're responsible for. And so there was a lot to think about. And as I was thinking about, I was like, well, what's a special place that I would want to propose? And I played basketball in the Palisades, and so when I was playing basketball there, I had some friends. There was a spot that you could go and overlook the PCH. And that's the cool thing is like when you have like real friends, guys, and there's no ego or machos, like they just want to introduce you to cool experiences. One of them took me up and we took a look at this huge cliff overlooking the PCH. And it was just one of those magical spaces. Like if you ever go there, you're like, oh my God, this is heaven up here. And so I was like, oh, you know what? This might be a cool spot to propose to April.
Right.
And so I just remember going to get the ring and picking out.
And
the
I
ring.
was in New Jersey at that time, so I didn't know anything.
You didn't even go to pick out the ring with me? Yeah, it was all
he did
by myself.
everything. And I remember it was a visit. I was visiting him. Yeah, it was a visit. So I must have been about 2 to 3 months I was able to fly, and I went to visit him. And he was like, let's go out to the beach or wherever, he said. And I don't know the area, so I'm like, okay. So we're walking. And then I noticed we were going to a cliff, and I was like, this is beautiful. And then I turn around, and he's like, got the ring. And I'm like, when I say floored, didn't know. Nothing. I don't even know how he kept it a secret. He is really, really good. And he told me the ring was in the kitchen in like one of his little containers for sugar or something like that. And all weekend I'm in the kitchen. I know he was like, Lord, Father God, please don't let her, find the ring. And I didn't.
Stumbling across stuff you shouldn't be in.
Yep. And he proposed out there on the cliff.
Yeah. So I proposed, and it was a very dangerous thing because it was windy. It was windy, first of all, because I remember it was windy, and like I proposed, and it would start getting cold.
Yeah, it wasn't
the thing was, let's go when the sun is setting.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't like a hot day. Yeah.
In Malibu.
But you could still see, for miles and miles away. It was clear enough where the ocean was still. It was beautiful. And I don't know back then if I loved the beach as much as I love it now. I think I'm a Caribbean girl by heart, by nature. So it was just a perfect place to propose, other than being in St. Thomas. But, it worked.
for what it was and what we had available to us at the time.
Yeah, it worked. It was beautiful.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think, I'm always interested to hear people's proposal stories, and I think we should we should actually interview people and get their proposal story to find out how they started, and then find out where they are.
Yeah, we can do that on our couple of segments. That would be cute.
So, again, that's how the journey, or at least a
and
kind of
here we
part
are,
of how the journey
21 years.
21 years later. So
and one day.
21 years and one day later, we just celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary.
Yesterday, April 10th.
What would you say has been the thing that has been the glue of our 21-year marriage? If you had to point to one specific quality in each of us that has come to, like, what have you added to the glue, and what have I added to the mix to make the glue that has held us together for 21 years?
I think what I have held on for this long and what helps us stay together really was forgiveness, because there's so many things that has happened in our relationship that if I wasn't able to forgive,
I thought you were talking about me forgiving.
we wouldn't be here. Well, I know I wouldn't be a part of this. And if I had to name a second thing, and I know you're going to be like, what does that mean? It is communication. It really is. Talking it out. Because before I could get to the forgiveness, we had to talk about the hard things and the things he wanted to just brush under the carpet and, under the rug and not talk about. Like, if you're going to forgive me, forgive me. And I'm like, no, if we're going to forgive, I'm going to forgive you. I want details. I want, when I thought this, did that happen? And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you just have to lay it all out. And then now, if I have the whole story, it is on me to see what I can forgive. Not, oh no, it didn't happen like that, da-da-da-da. Whatever it is, And it was hard. It's not an easy conversation, but at that point, I'm getting ready to go anyway. So either you're going to tell me and let me see if I can deal with it, or I'm going to leave. You know what I mean? So forgiveness for me, was number one, because until I learned how, and not only forgive and let it go and not hold resentment, because I was saying I was forgiven, but then if a song or something that reminded me of an incident, it would be fresh. It would be fresh. Even now, certain songs, certain things, but I can say, okay, we've talked about that. So I'm good,
Yeah, you got to be willing to move past things.
Yeah.
Once you say we're moving
but
past
you
it,
really have to do the work. And I'm not trying to say it's easy, because I didn't want to go through it. I know he didn't want to go through it. But if it's worth having, you have to get down to it. Now, there's no guarantee that once you get it all out, that you're going to be able to deal with it. But at least if you're going to have any type of relationship or friendship or, co-parent or whatever, I think it should start with all the cards on the table.
All right. So I'll say for me, it's two things. It's patience, because I'm not a very patient person. And then focus, because I think for me, when I dig in and focus on the things, the value that I'm trying to bring back to you and the family, then that energizes and drives me. I have to remember why I'm in this marriage, right? The reason, because I'm trying to provide something for people I believe in.
Right.
So,
yep.
So that's it.
That's it for right now.
That's it in a nutshell. But we just again want to ask you if you all have any cool proposals that you've seen, or let's ask this. Do you think, let's leave the podcast with this question. Do you think that a woman should have just as much right or feel just as comfortable in proposing to a man?
Correct.
As traditionally men have been set up to propose to women?
Yep.
All right, so let's leave it in the comments. Make
leave
sure you
it in the comments.
Hit
leave
the like
a comment.
button. Make sure
Thank
you share it with your friends. Ask them to subscribe to the Realist Podcast, at least in the relationship space. It's your man Royale, Chocolate Girl Wonder. And we will see y'all on the next episode of
After I Do.
All right, we out.
Bye.